The Silent Watchers. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the ESS Nightshade, Earth's most advanced stealth vessel, as it drifted silently through the Proxima Centauri system. The ship's quantum camouflage system rendered it completely invisible to conventional sensors, allowing them to observe without being detected. What they had discovered in the past week had changed everything. "Captain, another transport just dropped out of FTL," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his sensor station. "Same energy signature as the others. They're definitely Arxer ships, despite flying Centaurian colors." Chen's jaw tightened. For the past decade, the Centaurians had positioned themselves as peaceful traders and mediators in humanity's relations with the wider galaxy. They had even helped establish the Galactic Cooperation Treaty that supposedly protected Earth from more aggressive species. Now it seemed that had all been an elaborate deception. "Add it to the log," she ordered. "How many does that make?" 47 in the past week, Captain. Based on their mass readings, they're carrying enough weapons and ammunition to outfit a significant invasion force. Chen walked to the tactical display, studying the growing network of supply lines and staging areas the aliens were establishing. They were being clever about it, using civilian shipping lanes and keeping each individual transport's cargo within legal limits. But the pattern was unmistakable to anyone watching closely enough. "They still haven't detected us?" she asked. "No, Mom. The quantum camouflage is holding perfectly. They don't have a clue we're here." Chen allowed herself a small smile. That was the advantage of letting your potential enemies think you were technologically inferior. The Centaurians and their allies had spent years carefully managing humanity's development, using trade restrictions and technology sharing agreements to supposedly protect Earth from advancing too quickly. Meanwhile, humanity had been developing its own technologies in secret, preparing for exactly this kind of betrayal. "Message from Fleet Command, Captain," the communications officer announced. "Admiral Hassan has reviewed our data. Operation Revelation is authorized." Chen nodded, feeling the weight of history settling on her shoulders. What they did next would change the course of human-alien relations forever. Send the activation signal to the rest of the fleet. It's time to show them what humanity has really been up to. Throughout the supposedly empty space around Earth, hundreds of quantum-cloaked ships powered up their systems. The largest military force humanity had ever assembled had been hiding in plain sight, waiting for this moment. "All stations, battle stations," Chen ordered. "And someone wake up Dr. Park. I want our resident synopsychologist's input before we make our move." As klaxons sounded throughout the ship, Dr. Sarah Park hurried onto the bridge, still pulling on her uniform jacket. The small Korean woman had spent years studying alien psychology and culture, helping humanity understand how their potential enemies thought. "Tell me you have good news," Chen said as Park joined her at the tactical display. "Depends on your definition of good," Park replied, studying the data. "The Centaurians and their allies are operating exactly according to historical patterns. They see humanity as a potential threat, so they're moving to eliminate us before we can grow stronger. The fact that we've been peaceful and cooperative has only convinced them that now is the perfect time to strike. And when we reveal our true capabilities." Park's expression was grim. "Shock and awe will be critical. If we show anything less than overwhelming technological and tactical superiority, they'll just accelerate their plans. We need to demonstrate that attacking Earth would be suicide." Chen turned to her weapons officer. "Status of the gravitic lance. Charged and ready, Captain. All tests indicate it will perform exactly as designed." The gravitic lance was humanity's ace in the hole, a weapon that used artificial gravity fields to tear ships apart at a molecular level. The aliens thought humans were barely capable of basic artificial gravity. They had no idea what humanity had actually achieved in that field. "New contact," Rodriguez called out. "Major energy signature at the edge of the system. It's huge, Captain. Must be at least 5 kilometers long." The tactical display updated, showing a massive vessel dropping out of FTL. It was a Centaurian dreadnought. the kind of ship they claimed they didn't even possess under the peace treaties. "Well," Chen said, "looks like they're done hiding too. Send word to the fleet. Operation Revelation begins in 30 minutes. Let's show them humanity's real face." As her crew prepared for battle, Chen thought about all the years of preparation that had led to this moment. The aliens had thought they were containing humanity, keeping them weak and controlled. Instead, they had given humanity time to prepare, to build, to advance far beyond what anyone suspected. The deception was about to end, and the galaxy would never be the same. "All hands," Chen announced shipwide. "This is the captain. For years, we've hidden our strength, played the part of the naive newcomers to galactic society. That ends today. In 30 minutes, we reveal ourselves and show the galaxy that humanity will not be controlled or conquered. Make ready for battle, and remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting to show every species out there that deception and manipulation are poor substitutes for genuine cooperation and respect." The countdown began, and humanity prepared to step onto the galactic stage, not as the primitive species everyone thought they were, but as one of its most advanced civilizations. The real first contact was about to begin. Echoes of deception. Admiral James Hassan stood in the Fleet Command Center beneath the lunar surface, watching as hundreds of quantum-cloaked ships activated their synchronized revelation protocols. Decades of preparation were about to pay off. "Final status report," he ordered, his deep voice resonating through the cavernous command center. Colonel Maya Patel, his chief of operations, responded from her station. "All fleet elements report ready, sir. The Centaurian dreadnought remains on station at the system's edge. Their support fleet is continuing to gather in the outer belt. Current count stands at 112 vessels." Hassan studied the holographic display showing the positions of both the alien fleet and humanity's hidden forces. The Centaurians had arranged their ships in a classic assault formation, clearly preparing for what they thought would be a swift and decisive strike against an unprepared Earth. "What's the status of the civilian evacuation?" he asked. "Operation Underground is at 97% completion," Maya reported. "Nearly all major population centers have been quietly moved to the subsurface arcologies. If they launch their attack now, they'll find mostly empty cities." That had been another long-term deception. While the aliens watched humans build sprawling surface cities, they hadn't detected the vast underground complexes being constructed simultaneously. Humanity had learned early on never to keep all their eggs in one basket. "Message from the Nightshade," the communications officer announced. "Captain Chen reports the quantum net is fully charged. They can initiate on your command." The quantum net was humanity's masterstroke, a vast web of entangled particles that would allow their ships to coordinate perfectly while remaining invisible to enemy sensors. The aliens thought quantum entanglement communication was theoretically impossible. They were about to learn otherwise. "Tell all ships to execute final positioning," Hassan ordered. "Revelation in 5 minutes." As the countdown began, he thought back to the day, 15 years ago, when Earth's leaders had first learned of the alien deception. A routine deep space scan had detected traces of an ancient battle, one that showed weapons technology far beyond what the peaceful Centaurians claimed to possess. That discovery had changed everything. While maintaining a facade of grateful technological adoption, humanity had poured resources into secret research and development. They had built hidden shipyards in asteroid belts and gas giant rings, developed weapons that broke what the aliens claimed were universal physical laws, and prepared for the day when the deception would end. 2 minutes to revelation, Maya announced. On the tactical display, the Centaurian fleet was moving into its final attack positions. Their dreadnought, arrogantly named Peaceful Guidance, had begun powering up its main weapons systems. They still thought they were completely hidden from Earth's primitive sensors. 1 minute. Hassan opened a channel to all Earth forces. "All ships, this is Fleet Command. For 15 years, we've hidden our true strength. We've watched as those who claim to be our friends position themselves to become our conquerors. Today, we show them, and the galaxy, that humanity will not be subjugated. We reveal ourselves not to start a war, but to prevent one. Show them our strength, but remember our purpose. Fleet command out. Revelation in 10, 9, 8. Throughout the solar system, human ships prepared to drop their quantum camouflage. Each vessel represented a different aspect of humanity's hidden advancement. Gravitic weaponry, dark energy drives, neural-linked targeting systems, and technologies the aliens had deemed impossible. 3, 2, 1. Execute revelation, Hassan ordered. Across space, hundreds of state-of-the-art human warships suddenly appeared, surrounding the Centaurian fleet in a perfect three-dimensional containment formation. The ESS Nightshade decloaked directly above the alien dreadnought, its gravitic lance already charged and targeted. The alien comm channels exploded with panic and confusion. Their sensors, finally seeing past humanity's deceptions, were reporting energy readings and technology levels that should have been centuries beyond Earth's capability. Open a channel to the Centaurian dreadnought, Hassan commanded. The aliens needed to understand exactly what they were facing. The main screen lit up, showing the bridge of the peaceful guidance. The Centaurian commander, his silvery scales reflecting the emergency lighting, stared in shocked disbelief at the human admiral. "This is Admiral James Hassan of the Earth Defense Fleet," Hassan stated calmly. "I believe it's time we had an honest discussion about peace, cooperation, and the consequences of underestimating humanity." The Centaurian commander's translator struggled to keep up as he sputtered, "Impossible. You can't. The treaties. The treaties you used to restrict our development while secretly preparing for war." Hassan's voice carried steel beneath its professional tone. "Those treaties are now void. You have 30 minutes to power down your weapons and prepare for real negotiations. Otherwise, you'll learn exactly how far humanity has advanced while you thought you were containing us." As the alien commander stared at the ranks of advanced human warships surrounding his fleet, Hassan allowed himself a small smile. The deception was over. Now the real test would begin. Whether humanity could turn this moment of revelation into lasting peace, or if the galaxy would learn the hard way why trying to cage humanity had been a terrible mistake. Shattered illusions. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council erupted into chaos as the holographic footage played. Representatives from 200 species watched in stunned silence as the recording showed Earth's hidden fleet materializing around the Centaurian invasion force. The implications were staggering. High Counselor Vextal, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation, called for order. "The evidence is clear," he announced, his translator conveying the gravity in his harmonic voice. "The humans have not only violated every technology restriction placed upon them, but they have achieved advancement rates that should be impossible." In the human delegation's booth, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez remained perfectly composed. After 20 years of maintaining humanity's careful deception, it was almost relieving to finally show their true capabilities. "With respect, High Counselor," she said, rising to address the chamber, "I believe you're focusing on the wrong violation. The footage clearly shows a Centaurian battle fleet preparing for an unprovoked attack on Earth, in direct contradiction of multiple peace treaties." The Centaurian representative, First Speaker Naztul, surged up from his seat. "We were acting to contain a clear threat. Look at what they've hidden from us. Every advancement they claimed to need help with was a lie. Every technology they pretended to struggle with was mastered in secret. They are dangerous." Elena smiled diplomatically. "Are we dangerous because we advanced quickly, or because we didn't allow ourselves to be subjugated? The real danger was your assumption that humanity would blindly trust those who claimed to be our friends while secretly plotting our destruction." The chamber erupted again as various species took sides. The older races, those who had long dominated the Council, were horrified at humanity's deception. The younger species, many of whom had faced similar protective restrictions, watched with barely concealed admiration. "Order," Vextal's crystalline form flashed brilliant colors. Ambassador Rodriguez, your people have hidden advanced quantum technology, gravitic weapons, and fleet capabilities that violate multiple council directives. How do you explain this? Belena's expression hardened slightly. High Counselor, those directives were created by the very powers who planned to attack us. We study our history extensively when we joined the galactic community. How many other primitive species have suddenly been declared threats and eliminated once they began to show real potential? How many civilizations have vanished after accepting protection from the Council's senior members? A murmur ran through the chamber. Several representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. That is not the issue at hand, Naztul interjected. The humans have demonstrated they cannot be trusted. They must be. Careful, first speaker, Elena interrupted. Consider your next words very carefully. The fleet you see in that recording is just our solar system defense force. Would you like to see what else humanity has been working on while you thought you were containing us? She gestured, and new holographic images appeared. Massive shipyards hidden in dimensional pockets. Research stations phased slightly out of normal space-time. Weapons that could reduce planets to atoms. We built these not because we wanted war, Elena continued, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. We built them because we recognized the pattern. Confident older species, unable to accept that younger races might advance differently, might think differently, might find new paths to the stars. So they create rules, restrictions, containment protocols, all in the name of peace and protection. She turned to face the entire chamber. Humanity chose a different path. We played along with your restrictions while preparing for the day when the mask would come off. Now we offer a choice. Continue with the old way of control and dominance, or work with us to create something new. A galaxy where species help each other advance, where different approaches to technology and society are celebrated rather than feared. The chamber was silent now, every representative considering the implications. Humanity hadn't just hidden their technological advancement, they had completely upended the galaxy's power structure. And if we refuse this, cooperation, Vextal asked carefully. Belena's smile returned, diplomatic but with an edge of steel. Then we demonstrate why attempting to cage humanity was your greatest mistake. The choice, as always, is yours. In the tense silence that followed, representatives began signaling for recognition, alliances shifting visibly as species calculated their positions in this new reality. The old power structure was crumbling, and something new was about to be born. High Counselor Vextal's crystalline form dimmed slightly as he processed the situation. Perhaps it is time for the Council to consider new approaches to interspecies relations. Elena nodded. That would be wise. Humanity has no desire for war or dominance. We simply refuse to be dominated. The galaxy is vast enough for all of us to advance together, each in our own way. As the Council began their deliberations, Belena sent a coded quantum message to Earth, Phase 1 complete. The galaxy is changing. Prepare for Phase 2. Hidden Guardians. Dr. Arya Patel stood in Earth's quantum observatory, watching as ripples of distortion spread through the galactic arm. The aftermath of humanity's revelation was causing more chaos than even their models had predicted. Another civilization just went public with their hidden tech, her assistant reported. The Verdani have apparently been concealing biological computing capabilities for centuries. Arya nodded, unsurprised. Humanity's dramatic unveiling had triggered a cascade effect, encouraging other species to reveal their own secrets. The Galactic Council's system of technological control was unraveling faster than anyone expected. What's the current count? She asked, adjusting the quantum viewer's settings to track the spreading waves of change. 17 species have now admitted to hiding advanced technologies. 3 have revealed secret fleets, and the Arcturus Collective just announced they've had functional time dilation technology for the past millennium. The main display showed the political upheaval spreading like wildfire through the galaxy. Old alliances were shattering, New ones forming as species reassessed their positions in light of these revelations. But beneath the chaos, Arya could see a pattern emerging. Admiral Hassan's hologram appeared in the observatory. "Doctor, we're detecting unusual activity at the galactic core. Your expertise is needed." The display shifted, showing a massive structure emerging from behind a cluster of black holes. It was clearly artificial, its surface covered in symbols that pulsed with dark energy. "Well," Arya said, studying the readings, "it seems we're not the only ones who chose this moment to reveal ourselves. The question is, who are they, and why now?" The structure was enormous, easily the size of a small solar system. Its very existence challenged everything known about engineering at that scale. As Arya watched, it began broadcasting a signal on all frequencies, using a form of quantum communication that even humanity hadn't mastered. "Translation is coming through," her assistant announced. It's addressing everyone, all species." The message appeared on their screens. "To all children of the galaxy, the time of separation is over. The test is complete." Arya's eyes widened as she began to understand. "Get me Ambassador Rodriguez. Now." Minutes later, Elena Rodriguez's hologram joined them in the observatory. "Dr. Patel, what are we looking at?" "I believe," Arya said carefully, "we're looking at the real Galactic Council, or rather, the species that created the conditions for our various civilizations to develop." She highlighted sections of the structure's architecture. "These patterns match fragments we found in ancient ruins across the galaxy. Everyone assumed they were from different species, but look at the underlying mathematical principles. It's all one system, one design philosophy." "You're saying someone engineered this?" Hassan asked. "The restrictions, the conflicts, all of it. Not engineered. Observed. Tested." Arya gestured at the new data flowing in. "Think about it. What's the biggest risk to a galactic civilization? Stagnation. Conformity. If everyone follows the same technological path, uses the same solutions, thinks the same way, the entire civilization becomes vulnerable to the same threats." Elena's expression showed dawning comprehension. "So they created conditions that would encourage different species to find alternative paths, even if that meant some would hide their true capabilities." "Exactly. The Centaurians developed gravity manipulation. The Verdani mastered biological computing. Humanity pushed the boundaries of quantum mechanics. Each species, forced to find their own way around the artificial restrictions, developed unique approaches to science and technology." The structure was still moving, revealing more of itself. Its surface now showed images from various civilizations, moments of breakthrough, of innovation, of species finding clever ways around the supposed limitations placed on them. "New transmission," her assistant called out. They're inviting representatives from every species that developed hidden technologies. They say it's time for the galaxy to unite its different paths of advancement." Hassan frowned. "Could be a trap." "No," Arya said confidently. "This was never about control. It was about ensuring galactic civilization would be robust, diverse, able to face any challenge. They wanted us to prove we could think independently, find our own solutions, stand up for ourselves even against seemingly overwhelming authority." "And now that we have?" Elena asked. "Now we get to help build something new. A true galactic community where different approaches and technologies complement each other instead of competing." Arya smiled. Humanity's revelation wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. The structure had fully emerged now, its size and complexity defying easy comprehension. Around it, ships from various species were already gathering. Those who had hidden their advances, who had dared to find their own paths. "Admiral," Elena said, "prepare a ship. Dr. Patel, you're with me. It's time for humanity to take its place in the real galactic community." As they made preparations to depart, Arya studied the continuing stream of data from the structure. The patterns were becoming clearer, not just of technology and science, but of civilization itself. The true test hadn't been about hiding advancement. It had been about maintaining integrity, innovation, and independence in the face of pressure to conform. Humanity had passed that test. Now they would help shape what came next. Architects of Tomorrow. The observation deck of humanity's flagship, ESS Unity, offered a breathtaking view of the massive structure that had emerged from the galactic core. Captain Sarah Chen stood beside Ambassador Rodriguez and Dr. Patel, watching as ships from dozens of species maneuvered into formation around them. "Hard to believe it's only been 3 months since we revealed ourselves," Chen said, tracking a Verdani bioship as it gracefully glided past. The organic vessel's living hull pulsed with patterns of bioluminescence, communicating in ways that would have been considered impossible under the old regime. 3 months that changed everything," Elena responded. "Look at them all. Every ship represents a different path of advancement, a unique solution to the challenges we all faced." The structure, which they now knew was called the Nexus, had transformed their understanding of galactic history. It wasn't just a building or a station. It was a living archive of innovation, constructed by the first ones to guide the development of younger species. Dr. Patel's quantum sensors beeped softly. "They're ready for us. The first ones are opening the primary chamber." As they watched, a massive portal appeared in the Nexus' crystalline surface. Ships from every species that had developed hidden technologies were being invited inside, each representing a different triumph of innovation over restriction. "Tell me, Doctor," Chen asked as they prepared to dock, "did you expect any of this when you first detected their signals?" Arya smiled. "Not specifically, but I always knew there had to be more to the story. The old Council's restrictions were too perfect, too precisely designed to force species to think creatively. It wasn't suppression, it was cultivation." Their ship glided through the portal into a space that defied conventional physics. The chamber seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, allowing vessels of wildly different sizes and configurations to dock together comfortably. Representatives from each species were gathering in a vast amphitheater. Elena saw the Verdani with their biological technology, the Arcturus Collective with their time manipulation devices, and dozens of others, each bringing their own unique contributions to galactic science. "Welcome, children of innovation," the voice echoed in their minds. The first ones appeared. Beings of pure energy and thought, their forms shifting between states of matter. "You are here because you dared to think differently." Elena stepped forward as humanity's representative. Around her, the air shimmered with translation fields, ensuring every species could understand each other perfectly. "For millennia," the first ones continued, "we watched civilizations rise and fall, each following the same paths, making the same mistakes. We created the old Council not to restrict you, but to challenge you. Those who could overcome these challenges, who could find their own ways forward. You would be the seeds of a new kind of galactic civilization." Images appeared around them. Historical moments from each species' development. Humanity building their quantum-cloaked fleet. The Verdani merging with their technology. The Arcturus Collective bending time itself. "But why the deception?" asked the Verdani representative, their bioluminescent patterns showing curiosity. "Why not guide us directly?" "Because true innovation cannot be taught," the first ones responded. "It must be discovered. Each of you found different solutions to the same problems. Together, your combined knowledge creates possibilities we never imagined." Dr. Patel's instruments were recording everything, but her attention was on the mathematical patterns flowing through the chamber. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Every species' technology, every solution. They're all part of a larger pattern, complementing each other perfectly." The first ones gestured, and a new image appeared, a representation of future possibilities. "This is why we tested you. Apart, each of your civilizations was strong. Together, combining your different paths of advancement, you can achieve things even we never dreamed possible." And humanity's revelation was the catalyst, Elena realized. By exposing the deception, we started the cascade that brought everyone's true capabilities into the light. Your species, the first ones acknowledged, showed particular ingenuity. You not only developed hidden technologies, you recognized the pattern of restriction itself. You understood that true advancement comes not from following established paths, but from finding new ways forward. Captain Chen watched as representatives from various species began sharing information, their different technologies and philosophies merging into something new. So what happens now? Now, the first one said, we step aside. The galaxy is yours to shape. You have all proven yourselves worthy of this inheritance. The chamber filled with new light as the first ones began transferring control of the nexus to the assembled species. Not to any one group, but to all of them together. A new council built on innovation and cooperation rather than restriction and control. As the transfer completed, Alina turned to her human colleagues, ready to help build something new. Dr. Patel was already deep in discussion with a Verdani scientist, exploring ways to combine quantum mechanics with biological computing. Captain Chen was exchanging tactical theories with an Arcturus commander. All around them, barriers were falling as species shared their hidden knowledge freely for the first time. You know, Chen said, watching the new partnerships form, when we decided to reveal our true capabilities, I thought we were ending something. The era of deception and restriction. But we weren't ending anything. No, Alina agreed, looking out at the gathered species with pride. We were beginning something. Humanity didn't just pass the test. We helped create a whole new game. Above them, the Nexus hummed with power as it began its transformation into the heart of a new galactic civilization, one built on the foundation of different paths, different solutions, all working together toward a future that none of them could have achieved alone. The deception was over. The real work of advancement could finally begin.